Good afternoon, everybody. Or evening. This is Bill Candles from Auckland, broadcasting from Manurewa at Key and Bex's place. Welcome along to everybody that's tuned in. This is my seventh broadcast. Let's get into it, I suppose. Tonight I'll be talking about the send button meetings and the being lean and mean. Those are my two topics of broadcasting topics for the night. The send button meetings are broadcasted around about 4 o'clock New Zealand time anyway. That's on Monday morning. That's the Randy Wilson's English send button meetings live broadcasts. Scott Thorne is the Cambodian send button live broadcast, and that's usually on a Tuesday morning or Wednesday morning our time. Well, it's there Tuesday, I suppose. TBC leader Nussanur Rahman is the Bengali. He's the Bengali send button live broadcast. TBC leader CH Pritam Kumar is the Hindi send button live broadcast. And TBC leader Mebe Derek is the French send button live broadcaster. There's a word at the end of the meeting. There's a word that you have to submit at the end of the broadcast to get your cookie rewards. It's only one word. It's not a phrase, or it's just one single word. If you do not have a send button on, you are not allowed into the meeting. For those of you who do not have a send button, do not share this link with anyone else. The link will be available on, well, I've already told you when it's going to be available. It's going to be available on Monday at 4 p.m. Tuesday, Monday morning at 4 a.m., but it'll be Tuesday morning over here. Oh, hang on. No, it's 7 o'clock, sorry. They do the Pacific time, isn't it?
Where? The same button?
Yeah. The other languages theirs is that, well, in our time it would be 4 a.m. Wednesday morning. Now that's all for the send button part of our mihi. And mihi means our talk. Anyway, as I said, 2019 is going to see a lot of talk about cryptocurrencies, where TBC will get a firm foothold above all other market-driven cryptocurrencies in the world. Even though it's a private environmentally, spiritually, physiologically, and it all seems to kind of come back down to who's in control of money and who's in control of laws. And the laws and money seem to be very closely tied together. And it appears that the method operations, the concept of TBC is what's going to allow the masses of people around the world to break free from the controlled devastation and some just the unspeakable atrocities that are happening around the world, all associated with the monetary system that was created by the elite, the legal systems that was developed by the elite, is all to keep us enslaved, all to keep us confined to a very controlled environment. And where there's been so much suffering, death, and destruction. Because we have all been, this monetary and legal system has been imposed on us, and we need to find a way to get us out of ourselves, for our children, for our generations to come. We need to create some level of freedom that detaches us from the control of the current monetary system. So, welcome to the Billion Coin community, because this is, as far as I know, the best solution possible, the only campaign that there is to end poverty and create freedom for the world populations from a monetary standpoint. And we are also blessed and grateful for the creation of the Billion Coin, for the leadership, broadcasters, all the people around the world that wave the TBC flag and say we are going to change things. No more will we be slaves. This is our protest. This is our standing up for ourselves. This is the change that we demand, and we're going to do it by going our own way with our own monetary system. I know that's a lot, but I think it's a great message to start off 2019 with. And so I know you guys are with me on all of this. Well, that's self-explanatory. We need to get out under the yoke of the scarcity that we find ourselves in, and we are developing our own monetary system where there's abundance. And we've got admin that are helping us to with all the blogs and posts. As I said, we are concentrating on that lean and mean post and blog. All the great things, the cookies, redemption extensions, the extended bonus transactions, and then into the area about the merchants. 2019 is Merchants Year for TBC admin. They have let us know that we're going to have a merchants list in the back, the KCBO, that's the cash, Kringle's cash back office. So it's up to us, the TBC community to start filling in those lists, to have ongoing growing list of merchants. Stephen Cuffey has reminded us of some important things about merchants when we go about considering merchants in our community and approaching them. Admin made a big blog post last year about approaching and signing up merchants. Sometimes we approach merchants with our own agendas at heart, but we forget that they have to stay profitable so they can restock their shelves and pay their bills. You can't just go along and say, you should accept TBC, but they don't know what you're talking about. And you can't expect them to accept them just on the say-so. This is probably the biggest campaign we've ever seen, of course, and you know that massive growth campaign is ongoing. Cash flow campaign is ongoing, but merchants adoption campaign is going to kick in to high gear in 2019. We can either screw it up or we could kick some ass. So you can't go on acting like merchants are just there to accept TBC for their goods and services and don't understand what TBC is. You're going to screw it up if you think that's they're going to accept it on your word only. You got to understand. We have to understand. Be sure we understand their perspective. The approach is asking them, "Hey, would you like to learn about a way that you can increase revenue for your business?" If you approach them from this perspective, now you will have their attention. Imagine that. Merchants at this point, you introduce yourself. I am a part of a community called the Billion Coin, with members around the world. Our community is very active in supporting local merchants that are friendly to our growing billion-member community around the world. Merchants who are friendly to the Billion Coin community will profit from growing TBC community around the world. Which would you like to learn about how to become one of our friendly merchants and grow profits in business for our community? Now, from that perspective, your merchants is listening and you're kicking ass. Pardon the pun. And of course, you want to know how to set up the merchants, what conversations should you have with them that merchant can play a key role now in speeding up community growth. Not in the way you may be thinking. They will only see what a merchant can do for you. You want merchants to accept TBC Kandles as payment for their goods and services. Those are not a reasonable expectation. Don't you see that merchants are smart business people? Merchants will operate their business on a revolving cash flow. That's how they restock their shelves and pay their bills. But with products they know that will be sold, and when those products do sell, they keep a portion of that revenue, generating as profit, and pay themselves a living, and the rest are used for restock the store shelves. Do not disrespect the merchant's business. You disrespect their model, but understand where they are coming from. Realistically, can merchants restock today only using TBC as payment? Obviously not. They'll call security and remove you from their premises. That is why we need to get 1 billion members by the time TBC will be so widely accepted. Then yes, you could restock their shelves using only TBC. We reach a broader community supporting merchants, then yes, now we are cracking the seal. 2019 is the year. It begins. We don't want to ruin the opportunity with merchants. We want to appreciate them and respect them so that they will be open to our TBC community. So let's not put the cart in front of the horse, as the saying goes. Kringles are privately smartphone money ready for merchants to use and accept. I believe merchants can help us get 1 billion members in about 1 year, 2019. If we present them in the right way, please don't go to merchants and try to convince them to accept TBC criminals as payment. 100%. They will be interested in doing that, as I already explained. Instead of sponsor them and show them how to sell TBC as a product. A merchant that can successfully sell TBC over and over again, or will accept the TBC as a form of payment. So you've got to get them in the system of being a TBC person, that they understand the value of TBC. And absolutely, it makes sense to exchange the goods and services for that TBC. The new business cards make it easy, especially if you do all the heavy lifting at first. Set them up. Make some cards for them. Probably be a minimal cost for you to create the cards for them. And show them how to work the TBC sharing, the Kringle gift. A decent number of you have achieved a steady stream of cash flow by following the system. Most of you still need a cash flow coach to get there. If you are pretty good at following the system and earning income using it, then it's time to expand the system, including inviting merchants to join us in distributing phase of TBC. Small business owners are best to approach at this time. You don't have to walk into a big supermarket chain. They won't accept TBC. It won't work, guys. They're not ready for the big supermarkets are not ready for TBC. The closest thing we get to something like that is Mr. Farina in Nigeria. He's doing some big things with merchants. But Mr. Farina is a special kind of guy. And he's got things going on before us average folks out here who are just turning on to our local corner shops. Yeah, big chains will not be interested at this time. Do all the heavy lifting, make selling TBC risk-free and hassle-free for the merchant. Think about it. How many customers does a merchant, small business owner, have per day? Product-based stores tend to have 100 or more customers a day. Same goes for restaurants. What if all they had to do was to hand out business cards to make money in TBC? You could do the rest of the work for them. You could set up the KCBO accounts for them by email and business card names. You could pay their $10 administration fee for them. You could print up 1,000 business cards for them too. It's costing you a few bucks to get them started, but you have made it a risk-free for them to give this away. Give this a go. Give this a try. What we can do is go into a merchant, and you must not go into a merchant and disrespect them, their time, and disrespect them, their business, and disrespect their standards and their boundaries. And just basically go in there and throw TBC concept at them. That makes you look like a fool. Do some heavy lifting for them. Appreciate them. Show some gratitude. You want them to be part of TBC. Don't just disrespect their time and their business model. You get to incorporate TBC into their business model, the way it's set up, for them to make profit and to offer them another profit center. Remember, that's what a merchant does, is a profit center. And you want to add to their profits. You don't want to just take from them their goods and services. One or two merchants will keep you pretty busy throwing up all their sign-ups and just rotate them one KCBO account at a time to the next. Each day looking for the new referrals that come in as a result of the cards being handed out with your referral link for the merchants, and when the merchants pass it on with the receipt, the business card with the receipt, and guess what person takes their card, have looked at and says, oh, let me get my gift, and there they go and sign up. That's where you go and explain to them what's going on. in the TBC community and follow the system. Teach the merchant to offer words of encouragement as they hand out the business cards. Like, be sure to collect this gift today while the offer lasts. Then when you explain how the cookies reward system works and encourages purchases of at least $100 Pringles, you can meet these referrals at the merchant's location and complete $100 cash transaction. 50% goes to the merchant, and you have the 50%. But make sure you pay the merchant as your partner. That's where cash flow cash center comes in for the merchant. You can set this up so the merchant gets paid on every customer. Outside of exchanging their goods and services, get them get them paid so they recognize the value of Pringles within the outside of the exchange of their goods and services. Then they may be willing to take 10, 20, 30, 50% in Pringles, because now they recognize they can convert Pringles into cash flow through you being their partner. And because they are smart business people, they will catch on, and they will want to purchase at least $100 for themselves. When they do, you will keep the 100% of that as your personal sale. So you see, that's where you get paid, folks. So you get to do a little work, you still get 50-50. But once that merchant comes aboard, now they understand what's going on. If every merchant was approached this way, why would any of them say no, passing out business cards from the cash register? It's so easy to do, and each time they do, it'll bring them 50% in new revenue to them. It's what I call a no-brainer. When merchants find it easy to make extra revenue, they will accept 50% TBC right now. That's basically, I just want to encourage people to, if you approach merchants, that is the best way of doing it. You have to believe that you have to consider their perspective on what it will generate for them. They won't accept this. You just chuck it at them and say, well, here's TBC, and you do what you want to do with it. Now you got to help them out. You got to help them to see how TBC will increase their profits. And all merchants are profit driven anyway. Well, I'd like to thank everybody that's listened in. This is Bill Crypto Kandle signing off for another time till this time next week. Next Thursday is when I have to do it again. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening. Ka kite anō.
Stop the broadcast.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
stop it. Yeah.